Well, good afternoon and welcome to our annual State of the City Address. Thank you for being here to learn about and to reflect upon the many important developments in Harlingen over the last year. Thank you to the Harlingen Rotary Club for sponsoring this annual event. This service organization always has played a vital role in strengthening our great city, and as you will hear later, never more so than in the last year. I'm so grateful to have fellow mayors and other elected officials here that have already been recognized with us today. It's a great thing to have us come together and to talk about some of the developments in our region. It's always a humbling and somewhat daunting task to sit down each year to compile this report. We're fortunate to live in a city with lots of good news to share. There are not just a few things to talk about, but dozens. And we are blessed to have so many different people and leaders in our community contributing to our growth and vitality. But it's certainly important to recognize at the outset my fellow City Commission members who work so hard for the citizens of the great city each and every week. Commissioner Danny Castillo, Commissioner Tudor Yulhorn, Commissioner, stand up, Commissioner, please, Commissioner Mike Mesmar, Commissioner Basilio Chino Sanchez, and Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem Victor Leal. Please give them a round of applause. And so I am proud to again report that because of what you and so many others in this city have done, we've had another outstanding year in Harlingen, and the state of our city is strong. As I report to you this year on many recent successes and upcoming initiatives, I want to put them into a context of how they contribute to community vitality. Many organizations study the vitality of communities and even produce annual lists of the best places to live. I particularly like the way one organization, the Center for Innovative and Entrepreneurial Leadership, have identified 9 key areas which are essential to making a city like Harlingen a great place to live, work, invest, and visit. Personal and economic security are paramount. Successful cities have adequate and diversified employment, various types of affordable housing, and a strong sense of personal safety. Fortunately, these are areas in which Harlingen excels. Harlingen now has an unemployment rate of 5.1%. That's a nearly 5% drop in the last 4 years, from 9.8% in 2011. It's the lowest in Cameron County and a close third to McAllen and Edinburgh. And it's lower than the national average. Think about that for a minute. We live in a region which historically has had one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation, yet we can proudly say that's not the case in Harlingen. We also expect that downward unemployment trend to continue with the opening of Qualphone's Customer Service Center, the expansion of existing businesses like UniFirst on Fair Park Boulevard, and the addition of other new employers. Retail sales continue to be strong in Harlingen. For the 3rd year in a row, Harlingen sales have surpassed the $1 billion mark and are climbing. To appreciate the magnitude of our retail sales growth, it's best to compare sales over time. And since 2008, Harlingen's retail sales have grown 9.13%, compared to 5.98% in McAllen and 5% in Brownsville, both strong. And while other Valley cities also have had significant growth, Harlingen has managed to maintain most of its market share, despite competition from our neighbors. Contributing to this retail growth in 2014 were the opening of Sam's, Cracker Barrel, Ulta, and Kirkland's, just to name a few. This type of growth bodes well for our city's finances. I'm often asked, how's the city of Harlingen doing? And the first thing I tell them is that we're in great shape financially. Once again, we ended our fiscal year on September 30th, 2014 with an increase to our fund balance, which now stands at almost $17.2 million. That's an increase of over $2 million as a result of $855,000 in reduced expenditures and almost $1.2 million in increased revenues. And over the last 10 years, the city's combined revenue growth from all sources has increased by more than 42%. Now, any business would be proud of that kind of robust growth. And as members of this community, you should be very pleased and proud of the financial strength and success our city has experienced. Another indicator of economic growth is home sales. A total of 910 houses sold in Harlingen in 2014, which compares very favorably with other Valley communities and communities throughout the state. In fact, and I don't agree with A&M very often, but in fact I do this time, the Real Estate Center at Texas A&M reported that Harlingen had the highest year-to-year growth in home sales of any city in Texas, a whopping 24%. Early in 2014, Tom Mason opened a beautifully restored residences at Uptown and quickly reached 100% occupancy. Tom says the project has been financially successful and he would do it again in a heartbeat. Other apartment complexes around Harlingen are also at high occupancies, and the new $20 million plus Vantage Apartments project is nearly complete and currently leasing with 288 units. They're already at 50% occupancy, and by May they should be full. Recently, the city of Harlingen partnered with this great Rotary Club and Habitat for Humanity, which you've heard some about already, on a new affordable housing program. As you may have seen on TV or read in the newspaper, Harlingen's first Habitat for Humanity house is under construction on Washington Street on a lot contributed by the city with funds supplied by this Rotary Club. In anticipation of making this a significant program for our community, $100,000 has been secured from the Harlingen Finance Corporation. More vacant lots acquired through tax sales, forfeitures are available for this program. I want to again congratulate the Rotary Club of Harlingen and thank Commissioner Mike Mesmar for his efforts on this initiative. Thank you. Of the many factors that go into evaluating any community, a strong sense of personal safety is at the top of the list. Fortunately, Harlingen continues to post reductions in the crime rate. For the third year in a row, we've seen more than a 20% drop in our crime rate, continuing a 7-year downward trend. Combined overall incidents of violent and property crime were down 22.7% for 2014 as compared to 2013. Individually, incidents of violent crime were down 41.1%, and property crime was down by a little over 20% compared to 2013. But there's one statistic I want to share with you. And though sadly we cannot say this every year, it's truly remarkable that we could say it for any year. In this day and age, in 2014, the city of Harlingen did not have one single murder, not one. When people ask you about Harlingen, tell them that. When people ask you about this region, tell them that. Especially when people are thinking of visiting or moving here, how safe the city is near the border, be sure and tell them not a single murder. Harlingen is a safe community. Our low crime rate can be attributed to the outstanding performance of the men and women, sworn civilian and volunteer, that serve the community through the Harlingen Police Department, and to the City Commission's commitment to public safety and supporting both our police and fire departments. In 2014, we reached a 2-year collective bargaining agreement after negotiations and approved agreements with our police and fire unions. This was no small task. It required many months of thoughtful give and take between the city staff and the commission on the one hand and the leadership of the police and fire organizations on the other. Over the next 2 years, staff in both departments will see an approximately 6% combined increase in regular and incentive pay. These agreements are both fair to the taxpayers and to the hardworking individuals who are essential to providing us with the all-important sense of personal security. And fortunately, we were able to budget for these increases because our economy is strong and Harlingen is prospering. I personally want to thank Commissioner Danny Castillo for his leadership and valuable insight provided to the City Commission and staff during these important negotiations. Danny, thank you. In our ever-changing world, education and lifelong learning are vital to success. Harlingen strives for excellence in education at all levels. A new Montessori school opened on Sunshine Strip, just one example of initiatives to improve pre-K education in Harlingen. And our school district and their leadership are recognized as one of the most innovative and outstanding in the state. And while their accomplishments are too numerous to list here today, it is noteworthy that just last month, HCISD opened doors to a state-of-the-art School of Health Professions. And since almost 25% of the people employed in Harlingen work in the healthcare industry at Valley Baptist Hospital, Harlingen Medical Center, Su Clínica Familiar, South Texas Hospital, Rio Grande State Center, the VA health system, and the RAC, or in other medical offices and businesses, this new school will help ensure that we have a workforce prepared for these good-paying jobs, these important jobs. We also expect some of these students will advance to the UT RGV Medical School and the other allied healthcare professions that will be offered by UT RGV as it gains accreditation in the coming months and accepts its first students in 2016. Harlingen's commitment to UT RGV and its School of Medicine will not waver, and our centrally located 36-acre campus will be an important part of this great and historic educational venue. Because of that commitment, the City Commission in 2014 purchased another 29-acre parcel in the heart of the medical district to set aside for future opportunities which we believe will arise with UT RGV, including the medical school and possible research facilities. Texas State Technical College has just begun celebrating its 50th anniversary. TSTC is truly one of the city's great treasures and a cornerstone of our economic success. Again and again, the city's investment in instructional facilities on that campus have resulted in economic advancement for our citizens and a trained workforce for a broad spectrum of commercial and industrial employers. For about $8,000 total, you can earn a certification which will start you off in a technical job like robotics at around $60,000 a year. That's a pretty good value. In recognition for our contributions to this statewide institution, the City of Harlingen will be honored at TSTC's 50th anniversary celebration in Austin on April 22nd. Please join me in thanking Dr. Stella Garcia, and the TSTC faculty and the staff of over 500 for their exceptional work. Congratulations, TSTC. A city's vitality is also measured by the culture of wellness, fitness, and adequate health facilities. I already mentioned many of the important healthcare facilities which really put Harlingen on the map. And some of the programs we're undertaking to train more doctors, nurses, and other healthcare professionals. And in the coming year, we will begin construction of another important healthcare facility that will add over 250 new, good-paying jobs in Harlingen, the Palms Behavioral Health Center. We're honored that this nationally known healthcare organization has elected to invest in our city and provide state-of-the-art healthcare services here. The 94-bed facility will serve an urgent need in Cameron County for mental health facilities and will contribute greatly both to our economy and to our community. Our Economic Development Corporation and city staff did an outstanding job bringing this facility to Harlingen. So Rodell, EDC board members, thank you for what you've done. Congratulations. Another key wellness indicator is that there are meaningful opportunities for newcomers to get involved and make a difference in the community. And that was definitely apparent this year as June and Edith Elimoro of Footworks decided to give back to their adopted home of Harlingen, Texas, and partnered with the city to organize and host our first half marathon. This awesome event on November 16th really showcased the best in our community, enabling more than 1,200 participants to achieve their personal fitness goals, bringing business to our hotels, shops, restaurants, and engaging hundreds of volunteers from the business community, schools, and numerous nonprofit organizations in a spirit of friendly hospitality. I want to especially thank and recognize June and Edith for helping us. Edith, I know Edith is here. Stand up, please. Thank you. In the back. In their words, together we move forward, creating a healthier and more active community, 1 mile at a time. And mark your calendars now for the second annual Harlingen Half to be held this year on Sunday, November 15th. In successful communities, the formal and informal leadership encourages discussion, participation, and new ideas in public affairs and in business. Clearly, June and Edith epitomize the kind of innovative leadership which makes our community strong. Innovative volunteer leadership has also been key to the phenomenal success of the trademark events we have in Harlingen, like the Rio Grande Valley Birding Festival, which celebrates 21 years in 2014, and our monthly Jackson Street Market Days events, which has become a model for numerous festivals throughout the area. Harlingen is blessed to have many other dedicated volunteers, including Community Improvement Board Chairman Jesse Robles and his board and committee, who continue to work on our comprehensive plan. The plan will soon be finalized and presented to the community for feedback and then approval by the City Commission. This will be a forward-looking plan with a good balance between new ideas and a respect for history and tradition. The plan encourages numerous cooperative and joint community initiatives to enhance quality of life while making Harlingen a focal point for increased economic activity. As I reported last year, the cities of Brownsville, Matamoros, and Harlingen have formed a partnership to study the creation of a binational economic development zone to attract more manufacturing jobs to our region as more and more manufacturing migrates back to North America from overseas. A working committee appointed by the 3 cities has begun analyzing what needs to be done to create a BINED zone. I want to thank Merced Pettis Trevino, Norwed Fetty, Noradel Garza for serving as our representatives on that committee, and to Commissioner Tudor Yulhorn for his service on the technical committee, as well as his contributions to the many other successes of this last year. Already, the United States Economic Development Authority has provided a grant of $300,000 for supply chain studies necessary to begin this project. Congressman Vela, thank you for your leadership on this effort, and thank you to Brownsville Mayor Tony Martinez and Matamoros Mayor Leticia Salazar for joining together to work to make this a reality. BINED is an example. Please give them a round of applause. BINED is an example of how leaders in our region can and must work together to accomplish more for all of our citizens. Additionally, Harlingen and Matamoros recently signed a sister city agreement, which is more than just symbolic. Harlingen's relationship with one of northern Mexico's largest cities is important and a first step in strengthening ties and working collaboratively with an array of Mexican business leaders. I want to thank our city manager, Carlos Llerena, and Commissioner Basilio Chino Sanchez for all that they have done to further this effort. Thank you all. We're also strengthening our partnerships with our neighboring communities such as San Benito, Los Indios, and La Feria. They are important to our region and to Harlingen's future. And on February 11th at the state capitol, a special Harlingen San Benito Day will highlight this important relationship as we try to continue to expand. And speaking of innovative leadership, I think now would be a good time for me to recognize our many talented employees who daily provide quality services to the people of Harlingen. So if you work for the city of Harlingen, please stand and be recognized. On behalf of the citizens and the City Commission, thank you for the great job that you do. Vibrant communities also have a clean environment. We're fortunate to live in a community with clean air, a lot of green space, and an abundance of birdsong. The City of Harlingen implemented a Going Green initiative in 2004 with computerized HVAC controls and upgraded street lights, building lights, and traffic signals to LEDs. From July 2004 to August 2014, we reduced our energy consumption by more than 6.5 million kilowatt hours, which translates to a savings of more than $1.5 million. If you want to consider that reduction in environmental terms, it's the equivalent of over 4,300 tons of carbon dioxide eliminated, 987 cars taken off the road for a year, or 1,342 acres of trees planted. Either way, it's a good thing. Clean drinking water and an effective wastewater system are things that most of us take for granted. We just expect our faucets to provide clean water, and we expect our wastewater to go away when we want it to, but it doesn't always happen like that, as one Valley community learned last year when schools and businesses were without potable water for several days. Working to ensure these systems are reliable requires planning and diligence. We're fortunate to have been blessed by very innovative leadership at the Harlingen Public Utility, also known as the Harlingen Waterworks. Back in 2008, Waterworks commissioned an exhaustive study which identified the need for a 10 million gallon per day water treatment plant and for facilities to treat, sludge, and odor management. The estimate for those facilities was $50 million. But instead of borrowing all $50 million, Waterworks patiently completed most of that work by paying as they went. Now they will be able to complete the entire project by borrowing only $12 million, which can be paid off with existing revenues from already approved utility rates. And I think that deserves an applause. And in the midst of last year's drought, Harlingen Waterworks is one of the very few cities or water suppliers that did not have to implement water restrictions. Why? Because we have an excellent water supply and production capacity. Please join me in congratulating our Waterworks board and their general manager, Darrell Gunn, and all of the hardworking Harlingen Waterworks staff for another great year. By definition, vibrant communities have an abundance of public art, galleries, concerts, and celebrations. They're also aware and celebrate local history and are home to people of diverse ages, cultures, and life experiences. In successful and desirable communities, citizens greet people on the street, regardless of whether they know them, and there is a strong sense of belonging. In Harlingen, our many murals serve as a unique outdoor gallery and have become a signature attraction. Our mural program, recognized as one of the best in Texas, has been featured in local, regional, national, and international publications. And in 2014, it led to being the first city in the Valley to offer Segway tours, which glide by 10 murals and other attractions in our historic city center. New art galleries and artist studios have opened in downtown Harlingen. And as a result of brainstorming and dialogue during the comprehensive planning process, volunteers last January began organizing a monthly Harlingen Art Night downtown, during which local artists and craftspeople display and sell their work. These fun activities, events, are held on the last Friday of each month from 7 to 9 p.m. So if you haven't been to the Harlingen Art Night yet, come on down tonight at 7. When it comes to music and celebrations, there are great options in Harlingen year-round. In the spring and fall, our community's Hispanic heritage is front and center with Cinco de Mayo and the SEC celebrations organized in collaboration with the Mexican Consulate. Thank you again, Rodolfo, for all your help and your friendship to the city of Harlingen. In the summer, our popular Blues on the Hill continues to attract music lovers from throughout the region. The Harlingen Arts and Heritage Museum had one of their most successful years in 2014, including fabulous exhibitions by talented residents Guido Mattei and Tony Schaub, and numerous inventive installations by community members for their Dia de los Muertos and Christmas celebrations. We look forward to many more creative exhibits in the museum in the months ahead. Murals, galleries, concerts, celebrations, museums, these are the kinds of things that make Harlingen an interesting and fun place to live or visit. As you all know, improving the appearance of the city has always been one of my top priorities as mayor. And I believe it to be a quality of life and an economic development issue. Successful communities, the ones that rank highest in best places to live, are physically beautiful and distinctive. They don't look like other towns in the area, and they work hard at taking care of and improving their appearance. This year, we made even more strides in that area. We trimmed 555 palm trees around the city. And on National Make a Difference Day, 117 volunteers came out to help clean up and refurbish our landscape medians. Through monthly clean sweeps and quarterly trash-off events, we eliminated approximately 80 tons of debris and 900 tires from our neighborhoods. And next month, Harlingen Proud, Keep Harlingen Beautiful, intends to propose an ambitious plan to beautify the city's primary entry points and install landscaping to improve the look of the city. That's going to take more than just the city to fund the array of projects which are envisioned, and I encourage all of you to get involved and to support this effort. I congratulate Chairman Nick Consiglio and the whole Keep Harlingen Beautiful board for this great vision and dedication to beautifying our city. In 2014, we also made significant improvements in several city parks. Pavilions at Rangerville Road Park and Victor Park were renovated. At Rangerville Road Park, the playground also was improved and made accessible to all our kids. And with the Harlingen Rotary Club's leadership and financial assistance, we built the city's first Bark Park. It's a very popular place. In fact, when I walked out of the city commission meeting that night, after the night that we approved the location and the funding for the project, a man came up to me on the street and he said, hi, I'm new to Harlingen. Do you all have a dog park? And it really felt good to be able to say, not yet, but in about 4 months we will. Now that's a true story. CB Wood Park received funding for a $175,000 semi-inclusive playground through the Community Development Block Grant Program. How many of you know where CB Wood Park is? It's at the end of the Arroyo Hike and Bike Trail on the north side. It's a great park in one of our oldest neighborhoods, and I was glad to see this program occur. Pendleton Park now has outdoor exercise equipment funded partly through the University of Texas Health Science Center at Houston School of Public Health. These improvements at Pendleton and the other parks are not only improve the city's appearance, they obviously also contribute to the community's health and wellness. Our ongoing partnership with the National Guard to eliminate dilapidated structures which serve as magnets for criminal activity is one which we can be very proud of. The National Guard was back again this month to eliminate 31 more structures, including a couple of crack houses right across the street from public schools. Through this and other programs, we've eliminated 264 derelict structures over the last 4 years and hope that more beautiful new homes will begin to be built on many of these cleared lots through the Rotary City Habitat for Humanity Partnership, which we've already described. The Sun Valley Motor Hotel, congratulations. The Sun Valley Motor Hotel is another innovative and successful cleanup project with quality of life and economic development implications. In recent years, the old hotel had become a haven for crime and a nuisance for businesses and residents in the area. So 2 years ago, in the interest of public safety, the City Commission and the city partnered with the property owner to front the cost for demolition of the deteriorated structures. We recouped all of our investment this year with the sale of the property closed and the city's lien was paid. A new investor has plans to redevelop the property, and we hope to make an announcement on that soon. I met with them 2 days ago. As a judge involved in the settlement of this case said, "You mean the city of Harlingen cleaned up the property and now they want to be repaid? I wish they'd go up to Corpus Christi and show that city how to do that." We've also continued to improve the infrastructure which is vital to future development. We completed the Brazil and Teague Road expansions around Harlingen Heights to further increase the potential for development. We extended Bass Pro Drive west to open up those new development sites as well. We created new sidewalks along Rio Hondo Road, 13th Street, 7th Street, and Lozano Streets so that our kids can be safer on their way to and from school. We completed several overlay projects with monies from the general fund and our community development funds, and funded or completed several important drainage projects, including the Buchanan, the Hayes and M Street storm sewer, and the 3rd Street drainage ditch projects. And what should prove to be one of the most forward-thinking projects of the year, the city acquired a beautiful new building adjacent to our industrial parks to serve as a combined law enforcement training annex. The former Ballinger Construction Headquarters will now be home to a regional firefighter training facility and the police department's internal affairs unit. The building will also serve as a new emergency operations center. Starting February 20th, 20 students from Matamoros will begin a 280-hour fire academy course there. The City of Harlingen is hosting this International Fire Academy in conjunction with the State Firefighters and Fire Marshals Association and the Texas Engineering Extension Service. It will be the first international training academy in Texas with bilingual instruction and Spanish training materials. There will be many other uses for this building, which was acquired for about $70 a square foot, an excellent value. And I want to thank Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem Victor Leal for his assistance and leadership on this project. Victor. Harlingen's vitality also depends upon the support of entrepreneurs as we continually look for strategic opportunities and encourage new ideas. Perhaps nowhere is this more evident than in our 18-block downtown improvement district, which is now home to more than 170 businesses or organizations, many of which are unique and locally owned. In 2014, a total of 24 new businesses located downtown. Infusing our oldest buildings with new energy, ideas, and activities. An indoor playground, a Pilates studio, a music center, specialty retailers are among the startups attracting new customers to our downtown, as well as other entrepreneurs and investors. 7 properties sold downtown in 2014, and the commercial and residential renovations, which the new owners have completed, have underway, or are planning, are vital to realizing our vision of a vibrant and fully restored city center. At the end of 2014, local businessman Nick Chandra opened his new 71-room Candlewood Suites Hotel near I-69 and Ed Carey exit. The Patel family also invested in our city and opened the new Marriott Residence Inn adjacent to Bass Pro Shops. These beautiful new properties created by these entrepreneurial families greatly enhance the lodging options for tourists and business people. Across town at Valley International Airport, entrepreneurs led by Pat Cornegay opened their new fixed base operation, FBO, and hangar this year as well. The $2.5 million investment in our airport includes 23,000 square foot hangar and terminal space. They employ 11 people, and already 50% more private aircraft are calling Harlingen home at Sun Valley Aviation, including several planes that have returned to Harlingen that had left in recent years. Gulf Aviation also expanded their operations, the other FBO, acquiring the Bax Global facility next to them at the airport. And speaking of entrepreneurship and innovation, the announcement and groundbreaking for a SpaceX launch facility to be constructed in Cameron County at Boca Chica Beach has been universally heralded as a game changer for the county and the Rio Grande Valley. We congratulate our neighbors in Brownsville, Mayor Martinez, for their outstanding leadership in bringing this great economic and scientific engine to our region. And Harlingen was proud to be a member of the regional team that provided economic incentives to SpaceX to locate here. But the arrival of SpaceX has done more. It has helped to cast a giant spotlight on an innovative and entrepreneurial company which has been with us here in Harlingen for over 25 years, United Launch Alliance. As many of you know, And unfortunately, as many of you do not know, the United Launch Alliance was formed as a joint venture by Boeing and Lockheed Martin to provide turnkey rocket launch services to the United States government. ULA manufactures rocket components, including parts of the Atlas V rocket, right here in Harlingen at Valley International Airport. Since the Lockheed plant here became part of ULA in 2006, ULA has successfully delivered 90 satellites to orbit that provide critical capabilities for troops in the field, meteorologists in tracking severe weather, enable personal device-based GPS navigation, and facilitate other scientific study. This past December, NASA awarded contracts to both SpaceX and Boeing to build and launch space vehicles capable of delivering astronauts into orbit and to the International Space Station. Boeing's manned space capsule will in turn rely on United Launch Alliance's Atlas V rocket to send the capsule into space. So the chances are good that the next men and women launched into space from a U.S. launch pad will be riding on a rocket fabricated in part by our friends and neighbors here in Harlingen. That's exciting news for ULA and our community. There's been some discussion in circles that Harlingen might lose the nearly 200 jobs out at the plant here in Harlingen. But I can confirm for you here and now that ULA is here to stay. We're at this moment working on a new 5-year lease for ULA to continue its operations out at Valley International Airport. And we intend to work with ULA and our state and federal leadership to expand ULA's operational capabilities and bring even more exciting and noteworthy manufacturing processes to our plant in Harlingen. We have a ways to go on creating that expansion, but our City Commission, Airport Board, and Economic Development Corporation Board are committed to this effort. I want to thank and recognize Senator John Cornyn and Representative Philemon Vela for their efforts in supporting ULA and Harlingen. Thank you. I also know that Governor Abbott, Senator Lucio, Representative Lucio, and Representative Longoria are supportive of seeing this company grow here in Texas as well. Seeing the development of an aerospace cluster between ULA and SpaceX in Cameron County is not a dream. It is reality. And as both of these companies thrive in our region, we expect others to follow. Certainly, the educational and scientific partnerships with UT RGV and the opportunity this will bring for high-wage jobs will be unprecedented. In closing, I hope you are as proud as I am of the many accomplishments in Harlingen over the past year and excited about the wonderful opportunities ahead. Harlingen really is a great community. And the more I visit with newcomers, the more I realize it is the kind of place where most people want to live, where the crime rate is low, housing is affordable, the economy is expanding, and the people are friendly. And perhaps even more importantly, it's the kind of place that enables people to pursue their passions. It enables them to do whatever it is they want to do, like running your first 5K, owning your own business, pursuing an education, or raising a family. And as we look ahead, Harlingen is poised to seize many opportunities that will make our community more vibrant and more prosperous, to expand our partnership with UT RGV and other educational institutions, to continue to redevelop our downtown, to further improve our infrastructure and our appearance, and to reach for the stars as we develop new aerospace and general manufacturing processes. But it's because of people like you here in this room that we have so many accomplishments and achievements to report on here today. Things don't just happen in Harlingen. We work together to make them happen. Together, we get things done. And together, we take time to celebrate our unique cultural traditions and honor local heroes for their service. 2015 is going to be another great year for our city. Thank you for all your service as leaders in business, on our city boards, and in our community. I am grateful for all you do individually and together for the betterment of our city. May God bless all of you. God bless our country. God bless the great state of Texas. And may God continue to bless this great city of Harlingen. Thank you.